Hey, what's up everybody? It's Marty. We got a really big project to get into today. Today we're gonna be making this. It's a Mickey Mouse throne chair. So I'm not even gonna lie, it's a lot of steps. So let's just get right into it. Let's get started. Okay, so here's what you need. Little Tikes lawn chair. This is about $7 at Target, $5 at Walmart. A ruler and a tape measure. Medium and small Christmas bulbs. Clear craft gems. A utility knife and scissors. Chalk. Sandpaper. A glue gun and glue sticks. Paper fasteners. A yard of red and a yard of black fabric. Yellow spray paint. A pillow. 6 pieces of poster board, 4 white and 2 black. A large cup. A plate. A pen and or marker. 2 large pieces of cardboard and 4 medium pieces of cardboard. Now let me explain what each piece is going to be used for. The large piece of cardboard is going to be used for the exact back of your throne. This second large piece is going to be used for the seat back and for your ears. This piece is going to be used for the piece that connects the legs and the armrest. Alright, that's pretty much it. Now let's hop into it. Okay, first you want to take your chair and your sandpaper and you want to sandpaper the arms and the lower part of your chair. This will help the paint stick a little bit better to your chair. Next you want to grab your spray paint and you want to spray paint the arms and the bottom half of your chair. Okay, all of this stuff basically cost me around 60 bucks. It came from Joann Fabrics, Walmart, Amazon, and the Dollar Tree. So I know a lot of these other throne chairs is pretty high price, but this only cost you about 60 bucks. Okay, you should have something that looks like this. Okay, next you want to take your tape measure and you want to measure the width of the inside of the arms and the depth of the inside of the chair. Mine was about 12 inches wide and 5 inches deep. Okay, next you want to grab your poster board, your pen and your ruler, and you want to mark 2 5-inch lines 12 inches apart on your poster board right at the bottom. Okay, now once that's done, I went and took my tape measure and measured off camera how tall I wanted my chair backing to be, and that's roughly 26 inches. So I'm going to mark it here. 26 inches, and you want to lay it right there in the middle. Then you want to take your pen and you want to mark it on your poster board. This will act as your guide when you're making the next shape. Now you want to take your pen and you want to make a balloon shape right here on your poster board. Okay guys, Future Marty here. So I forgot to press the record button. So I'll just basically summarize what's going on in the next step. So basically, once you make your balloon shape, you should have something that looks like this shape that's in this chair right here. Once you have that shape, then you want to cut it out. Okay, next, back to the regular scheduled program. Okay, next you want to grab your chair and make sure everything fits flush inside of the chair. As you can see, this will be our chair backing. Well, the template for our chair backing. While we're here, let's work on the ears. Okay, next you want to grab another piece of poster board and your plate, and you want to trace 2 circles onto your poster board. Now once they trace, you want to cut these bad boys out. Alright, once you cut them out, you want to grab your chair backing and you want to position your ears where you want them. Then you want to take your marker and you want to trace the edge of each one. Okay, now once you're finished, you want to take your ear and you want to take your scissors and you want to cut this excess piece off. This will be the template for your ear. You should have this moon shape. Okay, next you want to take your large piece of cardboard and your chair backing and you want to place it on your cardboard and trace it and then cut it out with your utility knife. Okay, you should have something that looks like this. Okay, next we want to take our medium-sized piece of cardboard and our ear template and we want to trace them and cut them out of our cardboard. Okay, you should have something that looks like this. Okay, next you want to take your last two pieces of poster board and you want to spread them out and then you want to glue them or tape them right here down the middle. Okay, once you finish gluing your poster boards together, I like to take the chair and bring it over and place it on the edge of the poster board. Let me move this up so y'all can see. Like that. And then I want to trace around it. It's going to help us with the next step. Now I want to grab my chair backing and center it right over the thing that I just traced, right over the shape I just traced. Then I want to take my ears and place them where they need to go. Alright, so now that everything's centered, do you see right here the edge that I traced? This will act as my wayfinding point because I want to trace this far apart all the way around the outside of the ears. Okay? Now this takes a little bit of time, but let's do it and we're going to be right back. You should have something that looks like this. Now you want to take this and you want to cut your recently traced shape out. Okay, you should have something that looks like this. Alright? So basically, this is all of the basis of the chair back here. I'm going to show it to you. Boom. That's your whole world right there. Alright, now let's move on to the next thing. Okay, next you want to grab your large piece of cardboard and your seat back stencil and you want to trace it and cut it out. You should have something that looks like this. Okay, next you want to grab your two pieces of black poster board and spread them apart like before and glue them down the middle or tape them down the middle. Then you want to grab your chair back that you just cut out the cardboard one and you want to trace it and you want to cut it out of your black poster board. You should have something that looks like this. Next, we can grab our seat backing and our glue gun and we can glue this to the front of this just so we can already have that out the way. All right. Okay, you should have something that looks like this. Anytime during this video you feel like I'm moving too fast, just pause and then, get yourself catched up. I just didn't want the video to be, too long. Alright, now let's move on to the next step. Okay, here's a quick tip to help you with the next step. Now you want to take all of your cardboard pieces, the seat backing and your two ears, and you want to line them up and make sure they fit flush. Then you want to take your pen and put a small F on each cardboard section. This will help in the next step so you can know which parts are the front and which parts are the back. Alright, now pay close attention to the next step because the same steps that I used for the seat backing are the same exact steps that you use for the ears. Minus one thing, but we'll get to that. Okay, first you want to take your yard of black fabric and you want to lay it out and spread it on your work surface. Then you want to take your seat backing and you want to lay it face down on your fabric. Make sure you leave enough room for where your ears can go later so you can have extra fabric. Okay, next you want to take your chalk and you want to trace around the outside of your seat backing. Giving it a little bit of space because this fabric will be folded over. Alright, now let's do it. You should have something that looks like this. Now you want to take your scissors and you want to cut it out. Okay, once that's done, you want to bring your cardboard backing piece over and you want to line everything up. Alright, you should have something that looks like this. Okay, next you want to take your glue gun and you want to start folding the fabric over and gluing it, leaving the top and the bottom open. Now how I glue it is I take a little bit of glue and I glue this edge right here first, and then I glue the back like that, just to have an added sense of security. Alright, let's do it. Alright, so you should have something that looks like this. Okay, next you want to take your marker and you want to mark 5 X's on your back. Here, 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 and here. I know you can't see it very well, but here are my X's. Here, 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 and here. Okay, next you want to grab your utility knife and your fasteners. If you're curious what the fasteners look like, they look like this. You can find them in the stationery section or wherever school supplies are and things like that. Alright, now you want to grab your utility knife and you want to pierce through your X that you made on your back. Now make sure, be careful with this and go slowly. You have to also pierce the fabric while you're doing it, and make the hole big enough so the fastener can go clearly through. You should have something that looks like that. Alright, next you want to take your fastener and you want to insert it in the hole that you just did. Alright, you see that? Next you want to bend the flaps over on your fastener. Alright, share something that looks like this. And you want to do that for the rest of the X's that you did. You should have something that looks like this. Alright. Next, you want to grab our glue gun and you want to smear glue on the tabs that you bent over on the back. This will prevent the fasteners from coming out when you stuffing it with your cotton. You should have something that looks like this. I don't know if you can see it, but like this. Like this. It should be smeared like that, you know, to make sure it's secure and it won't come out once it dries. Okay, next you want to grab your pillow and you want to open it up. Then you want to begin stuffing the inside of your chair bag. Now, if you're having a little trouble, you can use your ruler or your tape measure to reach places that your arm can't go. Now, a little goes a long way with this because we'll also be using the rest of the stuffing to use for the seat and the armrest. Alright, now let's get into it. You should have something that looks like this. Now, like I said, a little goes a long way. You don't need to fill it up. You just want to give the illusion that it's full. Like I only did a little here, little there, little here, little there, and it just gave the illusion that it was full up. Now, what we want to do, we want to flip it around, glue the top, and then close the bottom. Okay, once you finish, you should have something that looks like this. Now you want to take your clear craft gems and you want to glue them on your fasteners that you put on your seat bag. Once you finish that, you're completely done with this section of your seat bag. Okay, really quickly, I'm going to show you how I glued the gem on with the last gem. So I just added a little bit of glue right here on top of my fastener. Then I take my gem face down and I press it into place. And that's pretty much it. Okay, now you want to do the exact same steps for the ears. You know, cut the fabric, glue it over, blah, blah, blah. But the only thing that you do differently is instead of putting 5 X's in the middle, you only put 1. You only need 1 fastener for each ear, not 5 like you need the seat. Okay, you should have something that looks like this. Now, once again, you follow the exact same steps that you use for the seat backing, except you only use 1 fastener for each ear and 1 gem for each ear. All right, that's it. Okay, next you want to bring your seat over and you want to place everything inside the seat to make sure everything lined up. Put your ears down, put your throne backing down, put the seat backing down, and just make sure everything is lined up. Once it's lined up to your satisfaction, then you want to glue everything onto your throne backing. Don't glue the throne backing onto the chair yet because we need to take it out and do some other things first. But just glue all of this down once it's to your liking, but not the throne backing. All right, here we go. Okay, once you're done gluing, you should have something that looks like this. Now we pretty much done the seat backing. Now let's do the rest of the stuff. All right, if y'all been rocking and rolling with me, we about 70% done. So we just got a little bit more left, so let's get to it. Okay, next you want to grab your chair and your tape measure and you want to measure your armrest. This measured about 8.5 inches long. You also want to measure the inside of your chair. This will be the seat and this will be the armrest cushion. So from here to right here, it measures at about 10.5 inches. Then from here to here, it's about 11 inches. Now you want to take those measurements and you want to write them down somewhere so you can use them later. Okay, next you want to grab your red yard of fabric and you want to spread it out on the table. Now, we measured 8.5 inches long for the armrest. So 8.5 plus 8.5 is 17 inches. So you want to measure a 17-inch wide, and I'm eyeballing at about 18 inches long. So 17-inch wide, 18-inch long square out of your red fabric. You have to do 2 squares, 1 for each armrest. You should have something that looks like this. Okay, next you want to take your tape measure and you want to measure. Okay, next you want to take your tape measure and you want to measure it right at the 8.5-inch mark, which is about right here. Then you want to fold it over, just like that. Basically, we're going to be making pockets. Well, pockets, so to speak. Okay, just to make sure everything is the right size, let's bring our chair over and our fabric. And as we can see, it fits nice and flush with the armrest of the chair. Alright, now let's get to the gluing part. Okay, next we want to grab our glue gun and we want to glue right along the edge of your pocket, but leave the bottom open. Okay, once you finish gluing, you should have something that looks like this. This is where all your cotton and everything is going to go into. You need to make 2 of these, 1 for each armrest. Alright, once done, you should have something that looks like this. Alright, now let's bring our chair over. Okay, now that we brought our chair over, you want to take your recently cut fabric and you want to lay it across the armrest of your chair. Now, you want to leave a little bit over the edge because you want to take this part and you want to glue it underneath, just like this. Make sure that the hole is facing you because that's what you're going to be putting the stuffing through. Make sure when you glue it right in here, right in this seam. I don't know if you can see it, but it's right on the inside of the chair. See that? Alright. Also, make sure that this seam that you glued together on your fabric, make sure that's facing the inside of the chair. And the non-seam is facing out. You see that? Alright. Okay, now we can take our stuffing and begin filling our armrest in. Now remember, like I said, a little goes a long way. Okay, once you finish stuffing, you want to take your armrest and you want to fold it down in between these holes in the side of the chair. Now you don't need to seal anything off yet because we're about to do that. Now, you see this little part right here where it's red showing? You can take your armrest padding and glue to cover that up. Once you finish gluing that down, you want to flip your chair over like this, and you want to glue all of this underneath your chair like that. You want to do that for both of the armrests. Alright, now let's do the seat. Okay, once you finish gluing, you should have something that looks like this. Now let's get on to the seat. Okay, next you want to grab the rest of your red fabric. Now remember, our previous measurements was 10.5 by 11.5. So that was 11.5 inches wide and 10.5 inches deep. So we need to do 10.5 plus 10.5. That's 21 inches. So we need to cut a 21 inch wide, 11.5 inch long square out of your fabric. Alright, Alright, so you should have something that looks like this. Now all we want to do is fold it over just like we did with the armrest, and you want to glue it here and here. You know the come right to the top. That's your 11 inch, the top of your 11 inch mark. Make sure this is on the edge. You want to trace your circle about halfway. Alright. Now you want to use your ruler and make a diagonal line from the edge of your circle to the 2-inch mark at the bottom. Now all you want to do is cut this out. Once you finish cutting, you should have something that looks like this. Now let's go get our chair and make sure everything fits flush. This flat side here is what goes the closest to your chair. So that looks pretty good, and this looks pretty good. You only needed one of these. So now we grab a piece of cardboard. Okay, now we take our cardboard and our plate template and we trace it onto our cardboard and cut it out. Now if this isn't to a size that you like, you can always trim it down, but this is pretty much the base. But now all we do is just put it on here, trace it, and cut it out. Alright, when you finish, you should have something that looks like this. Alright, now let's go get our Christmas bulbs. Okay, next we want to grab our small and our medium Christmas bulbs, and we want to move all of the excess stuff. Now we can cut this top off. Now what we want to do is we want to cut this in half carefully using our scissors or our utility knife. So we're gonna do this one together. Alright, so you should have something that looks like this. Next, you want to do the same exact thing for the smaller bowl. So all in all, you're going to need about 4 of these and 2 of these. Alright, you should have something that looks like this. These will make your Mickey Mouse emblems. Alright, next we want to grab another one of our Christmas bulbs and cut it in half. Then you want to cut it a straight line directly down the center. Should have something that looks like this. You should have something that looks like this. Now you want to take these out and spray paint them. And also spray paint the halves that you cut early. Alright, here we go. You should have something that looks like this. Alright y'all, we only got 2 more steps left. Now let's bring our chair over and glue these on, and then we'll be pretty much done. Now you want to take your halves and you want to glue them to the bottom of your arm plate. Oh, let's not forget, we gotta glue this on. Now let's check out the finished product. Alright guys, look like we're pretty much done. Now if you plan on making this or even thinking about making it, please let me know down in the comment section below. And please hit that like and that share button, and head over to the Jazz and Marty Facebook page where we always posting updates on DIY and craft videos. And like that, this will be the end. Peace.